there's a lot of movies and video games that kind of predict the future of mankind, or in a utopian or dystopian manner. But I think, yeah, you might say Blade Runner, Deus Ex, Terminator, etc., etc. Deus Ex is a video game. So the Google Alphabet Corporation started to censor any talks of plagues or viruses or stuff like that around. As you noticed, the censorship was really heavy on the lead up to the 2020 election on most tech platforms. The censorship was very heavy, talking about viruses, vaccines, global world orders, things of that nature were heavily censored. Even stuff that may seem silly, like lizard people, could have been censored during that time. So basically, yeah. So the global elites and the Democrats were able to suspend our liberties and rights during this virus crisis. And of course, that's why they released it, so they could take away our freedoms and liberties guaranteed, or supposedly guaranteed in the U.S. Constitution. So there's five fundamental constitutionally guaranteed rights in the U.S. Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution that's supposed to protect all American citizens, which are, we have the freedom of speech. That the freedom of speech is also the freedom of expression. So the freedom of speech is protected except for terroristic threats, libel, and slander. So those are the only kinds of speech that aren't protected. Okay, so libel is a name for responsibility, culpability. So libel is like, let's say a girl in a hypothetical situation tells a guy, "Hey, Billy, you're pathetic. Go kill yourself." All right, like that one girl did, and she found out she was responsible for his murder. So that's libel. Okay, slander is Jennifer is a whore. Okay, and then she comes back and sues you because she's not a whore, or anyways, but that's slander in that show. Terroristic threats, I think everybody knows what that means. All right, so the freedom of speech is a liberty guaranteed under the U.S. Constitution to all American citizens. The other one is the freedom of religion. You can believe in Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, or you can believe in nothing. And that's the freedom of religion. You can believe in whatever you want to. So that's freedom. You can believe that alien lizards are the gods of the universe or whatever. But everything's protected, even the most wackiest shit. Even the most wackiest ass beliefs are protected under the U.S. Constitution. So. All right. The rights to petition the government, yeah, for redress of grievances. That's a core fundamental right. The freedom of the press, and of course the right to assembly. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's the fundamental five of the Bill of Rights that are in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. So, the lead up to the 2020s, the global elites, Bill Gates, George Soros, Biden, the Democrats, they try to take away all of those freedoms by releasing that virus from the Wuhan labs and Wuhan Laboratories Virology Institute in China. Dr. Anthony Fauci and Joe Biden and Barack Hussein Obama and all the other criminals that should be sent to federal prison forever under lock and key. All right. Now, what the Democrats needed to do to re-seize power was they had to stop Donald Trump because he's a populist nationalist force that's all about America first and America, strong and all that stuff. Hey, Tuna. Okay, babe. So I do believe the 2020 election was stolen in concert with the legacy media, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSDNC, Microsoft, Bill Gates to hell, NBC, and of course, CNN. So they all colluded together. The whole machine colluded to steal an election in 2020. And I think a lot of Americans know that. Know the truth of the 2020 election. I'm not contesting that Joe Biden won, Biden-Harris won, but I do question that one of the most unpopular motherfuckers one of the most corrupt politicians in all American history became the president of the United States. I do question that I do realize that election was big time fucking rigged time. That was big time fucking rigged. Hardcore. It was all rigged by the Democrats and the liberal and the wealthy elites. In media, in academia, in left tech, in the big tech, big pharma, they all rigged the shit. And the corrupt and betraying and the defunct Democrat Party. They could still come back by some bullshit, by hook or by crook, but they're pretty much defeated right now. I'm not saying that the military, industrial, pharmaceutical, technological state media complex is defeated. I'm not saying the deep state and the global liberal world order itself is defeated, but they're definitely on their heels. They're definitely aware that we have taken our country back in a pretty provocative, pretty hardcore way. So, using the COVID-19 virus pandemic, they were able to suspend core First Amendment rights. The right to assemble, well, that's gone if there's a virus or a crisis. The freedom of speech, they controlled that through collusion with big tech. Jack Dorsey, before Elon Musk bought Twitter, and Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook Meta Platforms, Microsoft, Bill Gates, Tim Cook, Apple, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how they were able to control the freedom of speech online. So if you have a virus, a major crisis, then governments can take away liberties and freedoms that citizens are used to having, such as the freedom of speech, the freedom of expression. The ability to discuss what is happening is the freedom of speech. Just to observe and to state the truth. So governments, through their censorship in all over the world, and especially in of late Western civilization, they want to take away, like in an Orwell fashion, citizens' ability to see what's going on and to be able to report that and state that to the fellow citizens so that they can take action against powerful entities, whether it be in government or corporate or global business. So basically, governments and corporations want citizens to be responsible and accountable to them, but they don't want it the other way around, essentially. They don't want responsibility or liability for the damage that they do to the citizens. They want their military industrial casino to fall hard on the citizens themselves, not themselves, not the elites, right? So yeah, they don't want it turned on them or the other way around, or the shoe on the other foot. They don't want that at all. So but they will face trial, whether it's on this earth or the next one. Yeah. So if you notice the liberties that American citizens enjoy in the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, they're structured that every single liberty bleeds into the other one. So they're all part of the same. For instance, the right to assemble is also the freedom of religion, because if you can't gather with other people that are in your religion to worship God, then you don't have the right to assemble either. So I'm sure the Christians were irritated by the pandemic because they couldn't go to church for a while, except for remote church or some bullshit like that. But they couldn't go to the actual, church itself, the actual meeting place. So they had all these, especially the Catholics, they had to do all these rituals, and Jews and stuff, they have to do all these rituals, and it's a long. That's a long religious tradition and historical tradition. They have to meet up. They have to represent. They have to get together. It can't be on fucking Zoom or Skype or whatever. So yeah. So you can see that the freedom to assemble and the freedom of religion are inexorably linked. I use those big boy words today, right? Inexorably. I don't usually use that word, but it was the perfect word to describe how the ideas of freedom and liberty, how they're all intertwined. Yeah, so like love and marriage, you can't have one. This I'm saying, brother, you can't have one without the other. So I think the Democrats are cooked. I think they're fucking foobarred in the next midterm election. I don't think they're going to regain power for a long time. Because of the dirty deeds during the first Trump administration and before, and Barack Hussein Obama, and because of the stolen election of 2020, and the basically the stolen bullshit election of 2022. Yeah, they're not getting power anytime soon. I mean, they're not getting their power back, not at all, unless you know they can cook up or release another virus with Bill Gates and George Soros and Barack Hussein Obama and their buddies. So they're not going to retake power for a long time, most likely, unless they've got their next crisis ready to suspend voting and to gerrymander and to fucking rig voting and elections and stop free and fair voting processes and democratic and Republican processes. So the only way Democrats can win now is to fucking cheat again. So rig the shit again, like the FTX money laundering scam of 2022 with Sam Bankman-Fried. All right. Get it ready. Okay. The right to petition the government. Freedom of speech was taken care of online, at least. It doesn't mean that people couldn't get together and talk about the Hunter Biden laptop. It's just it was barred from the online platforms, YouTube, Google, Alphabet. It was censored heavily by big tech. In fact, Mark of the Beast Zuckerberg, from Mark Zuckerberg, gave $400 million to the Biden-Harris campaign in 2020. That's the irony of the Democrat Party is that they have more millionaire and billionaire donors than the Republicans do, but they pretend like they're not the party of the rich. I don't know how long they're going to continue. They're going to be able to hold on to the charade, and people are going to get duped and not do their homework, but probably not for very long.
There's only so long a rich guy can pretend like he doesn't have any money, right? So, yeah, you might have that rich guy that's like, oh, I want people to like me for me. And he tries to like dress down and stuff. And then eventually people are going to find out the dude is rich. Because deep down, the millionaire kid, he's going to be like, he's going to say, oh man, don't tell me the women just came because I had money. They came because I was handsome, right? Because I was a stud, right? Because they wanted to have sex with me, right? Right? No. Famously, during the Chinese coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19 plague that was released by Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci, or the Democrat Party, the global liberal world order. Famously, the Latina Catholic lady was distraught because the police were turning her away, and the people from the church and her Catholic church were like, no, you can't go, there's a dangerous virus. She's like, I want to worship my God. No. Yeah, I remember that sad episode, among many sad episodes in 2019 and 2020 and beyond. Many un-American, many anti-American episodes in America. It was hard. It was a dystopian nightmare. And we had to suffer so much just because Barack Hussein Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and George Soros and their cronies and Bill Gates and all these fuckers didn't want to lose power and control. We had to suffer so much just because of that. Just because of that. Very sad. But remember that Bill Gates is still out there. He might be 70, he might be old. He's still plotting to take over and control their lives. Barack Hussein Obama is still in Martha's Vineyard with Michelle. He's still plotting to somehow run our government, even beyond his term. They're still plotting to still run it. They might not have the power to run it anymore. But rest assured, George Soros and Alex Soros, they're still plotting, they're still scheming ways that they can take us over again, take over our country again. So the way that the Democrats would attempt to retake power would be like the way they tried in 2019, which would be to create a crisis or something to cause chaos in the Trump administration to sabotage Trump's administration again. So Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi don't love this. Not only are they getting old and feeble, and Bernie Sanders and so forth, going to the tomb, going to the nursing home, like Joe Biden, but yeah, the 20th century's been over for a while, for 25 years. So yeah, they're having trouble coping with that. Yeah, like many older generations are. So yeah, the 20th century's been over for 25 years. We're in the 21st, so I'm not making this up. Yeah, to the chagrin of the elders and the boomers, that last century's gone. I mean, I love the century too. It was fun, right? Yeah, it was a hoot. Nuclear bombs and Vietnam, and it was a fun time, but it's over. So, yeah, we had fun with the nuclear bombs and the World War II and Hitler and Stalin and Gorbachev and the Soviet Union. Yeah, it was a blast, I guess. I mean, literally, it was a fucking awesome. Yeah. What's up? Oh yeah, I'm coming. I'm making us brunch right now. Yeah, here you go. Want some water? You didn't stay up till 8 or something. Oh no. I'm sorry. I went to bed at 4 though, right? Yeah, okay. It says 4:25 on my thing. Alright, well, the Democrats for the midterm elections, they don't have a virus that I know of ready to go from a Chinese communist lab. Oh, you did? Oh no. Oh, not missing. You didn't get the toilet? Oh no. You didn't make it to the toilet? Oh. Oh no. So they don't have Sam Bankman-Fried, the tweaker, and the FTX Bitcoin fraud that helped them launder the money to win the 2022 elections, to rig those. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So no virus, no crypto scam. So what do they got? They're good. Oh, yeah, she's good. She hasn't diarrhea yet. I gave her a little banana with Bella. I gave her a little banana. And I refreshed her water. So, I mean, just to be nice and. Okay. So, yeah, no FTX Bitcoin scandal, no censorship. Really, they don't have censorship anymore because. Well, I mean, I guess Donald Trump told big tech, he said, well, we can have a nice relationship, or we can have a difficult one. So he told Apple and the CEOs of the big tech companies and the powerful multinational globalist tech companies that, yeah, we can play nice or we can be not so nice. So that was probably pretty much the deal. So a president and a government can break up corporations. Like Asma Gold was saying, governments are more powerful than corporations because they're the fucking government. So government is the state is the only authorized use, the only entity that has a monopoly on violence and power, hard power, is government. So, and when governments do violence, it's legal, whether or not it is legal or not, but the government makes it legal, pretty much. And not in all cases, but just, I'm saying generally speaking. Yeah. I know that's like something, yeah. That truth is not comfortable, but it is the truth. So I never expected the truth to be comfortable, but I expected the truth to be true. Yeah, so that's different. So I can live with uncomfortable truths as long as it is true. Then I'm, fine with it, basically. All right. Okay, do some. Let's give a chill to the egg making here. Let's do. So they don't got the tweaker. They don't have. They don't have big tech anymore. Because Elon Musk bought Twitter X and so on, and he's got what Donald Trump has Sam Altman and Chat GPT, and he's got Peter Thiel. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he has Microsoft too, but he pretty much has all the big tech players, and he's got the CEO of Google, Alphabet, YouTube Corporation, Sundar Pichai or whatever. So yeah, I mean, he pretty much got them all. Got all the ducks lined up. So yeah. Dun, dun, dun. And kind of, he's got the big deal for the artificial intelligence, and all that stuff. Hey, huh? Are you sure? Oh, okay. Well, I haven't finished Star breakfast yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll put the rug back until I'm off.
All right.
Little baby girl. Do that.
I love it too.
You do that.
Tula, tula. Tula, tula. Okay. Let's do it. So there's no plague or pandemic. There's no Bitcoin. There's no cryptocurrency scandal. Money laundering scheme. There's no George Floyd race riots. So there's racial strife, but it's not significant to get the Democrats back in power. They don't control the Congress. They don't control the Supreme Court. They don't have a majority in the Supreme Court. They don't control the Senate or the executive branch. Democrats are out of options. They're going to go with that socialist Marxist thing, pretend like, let's get the billionaires and the millionaires, they screwed us. They're going to go with that Bernie Sanders socialist kind of Marxist kind of deal. Yeah, that Chinese communist kind of rhetoric. I guess they're heading down that road. I guess that's all they got. Try to fool enough people to vote Democrat that they're going to hold the millionaires or the billionaires accountable. That's all they got. All they got is Robin Hood. Steal from the rich and give to the poor. Yep. That's all they got. Unless they got an alien invasion or something planned for the midterm before 2026. They got some Epstein files planned. They got a video of Trump at the Epstein, fucking at the pool or something. There's babes everywhere or some shit. Well, I mean, it's the age of AI. Couldn't you just make one up? Well, it's the age of AI, right? Video content creation. I mean, most people can tell the difference between a real video and AI, but maybe one day we can't tell. Maybe one day it's full clown world. It's full, Batman circus. Batman versus the Joker and Penguin. And, it's really a crazy world like that. So like it's a comic book, but it's one that's really happening though. So that's a real bizarro clown world. For real. So here's the breakfast. Texas breakfast. Breakfast. Yeah. Oh, nice. Breakfast. Break. Yeah, I like that. The breakfast. The breakfast. Welcome to the Break Festival. No, a lady said at the deli I used to work at, I really don't like breakfast. And I said, you got a nice set of tits. No, I didn't say that. I would have got fired. Just playing.